Good morning, one and all. Today's video class is on inverters. In the last class, we have started chapter 2, which is nothing but converters and choppers. In that, we have discussed regarding converters. Converter is a device which will convert fixed AC into variable DC. DC is not a pure one. We are getting pulsating DC means in the output of converter we are having pulses in DC, so that will be fed to a filter circuit and then it will be purified so that we are getting pure DC. And in some applications we require variable DC output. We need to have controlled DC. So in that we are using choppers. Chopper is a polytronic device which will convert the fixed DC into variable DC, fixed DC into variable DC, and it is acting like a DC transformer. As a last topic, we have discussed AC regulators. AC regulator is a device which will convert fixed AC into variable AC, fixed AC into variable AC, and the frequency is maintained constant while sending the AC at one level to another level. So these are the three important polytronic devices, polytronic circuits we have discussed in the last class. All the circuits will be having thyristor family devices. In today's class, we are going to discuss one more application, one more circuit of polytronic devices, inverter. Inverter. In today's class, we are going to discuss definition of inverter, classification of inverters, and we will discuss in brief regarding single phase inverters. Single phase inverter, and we are going to discuss one more interesting point regarding differences between UPS and inverter. Frequently we are listening the word UPS, uninterrupted power supply, and inverter. Actually, what is the main difference between these two? We will focus in the end. Now we'll start with the inverters. Nowadays, actually, uh, we are mostly depending on electrical power supply. All the appliances will be running with the electrical power supply. Starting from our domestic, that means from our home. Earlier, we are having so many works will be done manually, but now we are depending mostly on electricity, like mixers, like refrigerators, like cookers. All these things will be running with the electricity. But whenever we are coming to industry, and most of the industries require electrical power, so the jobs will be finished by operating the motors, by operating the motors, and for that we need to give electrical power supply. But in case of power outage due to natural calamities like storms, lightning, snow, earthquakes, it will cause power failure. Suppose if in a hospital some operation is going on and the sudden loss of power will cause a lot of disturbance. It will cause annoying to the persons, doctors they are operating. Such electrical abrupt shutdown may not be the feasible. So for that we require backup power supply in case of power failure. we need a backup power supply. By using UPS and inverter, we will provide this backup power supply. So today we are focusing on inverter, which is acting like a backup power supply in case of loss of power supply. First of all, we will start with the definition of inverter. Inverter is a device which converts DC power into AC power at a desired output voltage and frequency. Inverter is a device which converts DC power into AC power at a desired output voltage and frequency. So in converter we have discussed it is converting AC into DC. So it is ulta. So it is converting DC power into AC power at a desired output voltage and frequency. And the operating time of inverters will be around 100 milliseconds. So once the power failure occurs within 100 milliseconds, the power will again restored by the inverter. Inverters are mainly available from few watts to thousands of kilowatts, and they may operate within the frequency of 50 Hz to hundreds of kilohertz. So AC will have voltage level and frequency. Okay. So at desired output will be having suitable voltage and frequency that will be obtained by inverter. Actually, the phase controlled converters, when operated in the inversion mode, are called line commutated inverters. On the other hand, forced commutated inverters provide an independent AC output voltage of adjustable voltage and adjustable frequency and have much wider applications. And coming to requirements of inverters, these are able to operate for inductive loads such as motors, fans, ability to work under no load conditions or load is disconnected. The output wave form must be close to sinusoidal. Provision for overcurrent protection. So these are the main requirements of the inverters. These may operate on inductive loads such as motors, fans, and these can operate under no load condition or loaded condition. Actually, the output which we are getting from inverters are not pure sinusoidal, but it may be almost as like a sinusoidal. And there is a provision for overcurrent protection with the inverters. It should not operate beyond its rating. So while loading the inverter, we must take care such that the current rating, the wattage, total wattage should match the rating of the inverter. Otherwise, the life of the inverter will reduce. The plates may get damaged, battery plates may get damaged, and inverter life will be reduced. Coming to classification, inverters are mainly classified based on the number of phases. So at what electrical supply it will be operating. So based on the number of phases, inverters are classified as single phase inverters and three phase inverters. And based on the nature of driving DC source, these are classified as voltage source inverter and current source inverter. If the input is voltage source, then we are using voltage source inverters. The input is current source, then we are using current source inverters. Whenever we are having medium power applications and some other specific we need this much amount of current rating, at that time we are using current source Otherwise, voltage source inverters are most popular voltage source inverters. In normal applications, we are using voltage source inverters. Based on the type of commutation in thyristor, these are classified as line or natural commutation, forced commutation, auxiliary commutated inverters, complementary commutation inverters. In chapter 1, we have discussed commutation techniques of thyristor. Actually, when the thyristor is operated with AC, there is a chance of natural commutation. The thyristor may automatically turn off due to availability of natural zero. After that, it will become turn off. But whenever the thyristor is operated with direct current supply, at that time we are using this forced commutation technique or auxiliary commutation technique or complementary commutation technique. So these are according to the type of commutation based on the output voltage. The type of output voltage which we are getting from the inverter. So accordingly, it will be classified as sine wave inverter, square wave inverter, and quasi square wave inverter. Based on the output voltage, it will be classified as. And the main classification of inverters is according to the source. So it may be a voltage source inverter. It is the one in which DC source has small or negligible impedance, or it has a stiff DC voltage source at the input terminals. At the input, a DC voltage source will be available at the input. And the current source inverters, it is spread with adjustable current from a DC source of high impedance is at the form of DC current. At the input, if you are providing a DC source to the inverter, then we are calling it as voltage source inverter. If you are providing a DC current at the input of inverter, then it is called as a current source inverter. And coming to applications of inverters, and inverters are variable speed AC motor drives will be used in variable speed AC motor drives. It will be used in HVDC transmission systems. HVDC transmission systems. Actually, to operate the AC motors at different speeds, we require the conversion process. So at that time, we may use inverters. In HVDC transmission systems, actually, whenever we are transmitting the AC, we are using HVDC links. If the distance is more than 600 kilometers, then it will be preferable to transmit with the HVDC. At that time, we are having at the source end, we are having converters, and at the sink end, at the load end, we are having inverters. So inverter will convert this DC electrical power into AC electrical power, and it will be used in UPS, uninterrupted power supply. So it is a part which is used in UPS, and it is used in emergency power supplies in domestic lighting appliances. Whenever there is a power failure in domestic appliances, so in that case we need to operate continuously like lighting and this ventilation, all these things that will be operated with the inverters. So depending upon the loading, we'll choose the rating of the inverter, and it will be operated. It will be used in timing devices, and it also used in AC power supplies for lasers. Coming to single phase inverters, based on the supply which will be given based on the number of phases, it will be classified as single phase inverters and three phase inverter. This we have seen. We have seen. Now we are going to discuss regarding single phase inverters in detail. Single phase inverters in detail. In this today's class, we will focus on this single phase inverters. Generally, the residential and commercial load uses single phase power. The single phase inverter is used for this type of application. The single phase inverter is further divided into two parts: single phase half bridge inverter, single phase full bridge inverter. Actually, coming to domestic, for a house, generally we are getting single phase electrical power supply with a voltage rating of 230 volts and operated at 50 Hz. So this supply generally we are getting into homes. Depending on this, the inverters will be single phase inverters will be mainly classified into two parts. The first one is single phase half bridge inverter and second one is single phase full bridge inverter. So this is the connection diagram for this single phase half bridge inverter. It may be mainly consisting of two thyristors T1 and T2 and two diodes D1 and D2 and a three wired supply. So neutral will be common, the negative terminal will be common and two positive terminals. The supply will be Vs by 2, this is Vs by 2 and this will be connected to a load. Okay, so our intention is to convert this DC into AC across the load. This is the connection diagram for single phase half bridge inverter. Okay, so we will see this circuit operation. So whenever we are operating with respect to this Vs by 2 source, we have to turn on thyristor T1. Okay, so whenever this supply will be connected, thyristor T1 and because of this supply thyristor T2 will be forward biased. So both the thyristors T1 and T2 are in forward blocking mode. Forward blocking mode. First we need to fire thyristor T1. So from now onwards, whenever there is a thyristor, it should be having the triggering circuit and also the commutation circuit along with the component. It should be having the circuit to turn on and along with that a circuit to turn off has to be inbuilt with the component. So now onwards, whenever there is a symbol of thyristor, it should be having the triggering circuit and also it is having the commutation circuit with it. So please make a note. And first now we are turning on thyristor T1. Whenever we are turning on thyristor T1, this supply Vs by 2 will be applied across the load. So the positive terminal of Vs by 2 source, this upper source, and from thyristor T1 it will be acting like a short circuit as we are triggered and it is forward biased. So it is like a on switch. So it is short circuit like a short circuit and the current will be flowing through load in this direction. So current will be flowing from positive to negative. So current will be flowing in this direction. So whenever depending on the frequency we need to calculate the time. Then after completing that time we need to turn off thyristor T1. We need to turn off thyristor T1 and we have to give a trigger pulse to thyristor T2. After turning off of thyristor T1 we have to turn on thyristor T2 to get the negative half cycle of AC supply. We need to turn on thyristor T2. So when thyristor T2 is turned on, the current will be flowing from this bottom source Vs by 2 Vs by 2 through load and through thyristor T2, and it is going back to supply source. So this bottom source, positive terminal through load, again through thyristor T2, it will be coming back to supply. So when thyristor T2 is turned on, so this is the path for current flow. So current is flowing in this path. So when thyristor T2 is in conduction, you observe the current flow. The current is flowing in opposite direction to earlier one. So in the output, we are getting a negative half cycle. Across the load, there will be a voltage drop due to this bottom source, which is almost equal to the first one, the top one, the same magnitude, but the current is flowing the load in reverse direction. When T2 is in conduction, the current is flowing in the load in reverse direction. As current is flowing in the reverse direction, the voltage drop appeared across the load is also in reverse direction. Reverse direction. Okay. So because of this T2, we are getting negative half cycle across the load. Across the load, we are getting negative half cycle. And this is how we are operating the single phase half bridge inverter, and we are getting the output voltage across the load as Vs by 2. Vs by 2, it is a AC waveform. If the load is resistive load, the load is resistive load, there won't be any significance of these diodes D1 and D2. Diodes D1 and D2. But if the load is consisting of inductance, the load is consisting of inductance, then in that case, the diodes D1 and D2 will come into the picture. The diodes D1 and D2 will come into the picture. This load will drive current through diodes until the energy across the inductive load will reaches to zero. Until the energy across load reaches to zero, the diodes which are connected in antiparallel with thyristors will be in conduction. Suppose during positive half cycle, if this source is inactive and current is flowing through the load and the load is connecting inductive load. Okay. So after turning off of thyristor T1, the energy available across this load, which is inductive load, will drive the current in same direction, the same direction. So because of that, the energy will release. Energy acquired by the inductor will release, and it will drive the current through the diode D1. The diode D1 will be in conduction. The diode D1 will be in conduction, and the energy available across this load will be zero. Whenever there is a inductive load, this diode will comes into the picture. Otherwise, this thyristor will operate during positive and negative half cycles. In case of total DC voltage is Vs and is divided into two equal parts Vs by 2 for time t seconds. For a half cycle of 0 to t by 2, thyristor T1 conducts and the load voltage is Vs by 2 due to upper voltage source Vs by 2. For the second half cycle from T by 2 to T, the thyristor T1 is commutated and T2 conducts. During this period, the load voltage is minus V by 2 due to lower voltage source Vs by 2. So this is the circuit operation for half bridge inverter, and these are the waveforms. Okay. So this is the gate pulse for thyristor T1. This is for gate pulse thyristor T2, and this waveform represents the output voltage, and this is for output current. Okay. So whenever we are triggering thyristor T1, we are getting positive output voltage, positive half cycle, and we are turning off thyristor T1, and we are turning on thyristor T2. When we are turning on thyristor T2, we are getting output voltage in the negative half. Similar lines, we are operating T1 and T2 the same time duration, so that we are getting AC output voltage. So depending on the type of load, the load current will be like this. If it's resistive load, the current waveform follows the output voltage waveform. But while operating, we need to take one precaution such that we should not turn on this T1 and T2 simultaneously. We should not turn on. If we turn on, the circuit may get short circuited. Okay, the current will not flow through the load. This circuit will become shorted. So this precaution we need to take while operating. By this operation, we can get an alternating voltage waveform of 1 by T Hertz frequency and Vs by 2 peak amplitude. The output waveform is a square wave. It will be passed through a filter and remove the unwanted harmonics, which will give a pure sine waveform. Actually, most of the loads which we are operating are in the form of sinusoidal. So that's why we need to convert this square wave output into sine wave by sending it through filters. So these will remove the harmonics and convert the square wave into sine wave. The frequency of waveform can be controlled by controlling the on time and off time of the thyristors. The magnitude of output voltage is half of the supply voltage and the source utilization period is 50%. This is the disadvantage of this half bridge inverter, and that's why we are going for full bridge inverter. Actually, the source utilization factor in this half bridge inverter is a 50%, and it also requires the three wired supply. We require three wired supply. So these are the main drawbacks. That's why we are going for full bridge inverter. Full bridge inverter. This is the circuit diagram for the single phase full bridge inverter. So here we are having a DC source and we are having four thyristors T1, T2, T3, T4. Similarly, we are having four diodes D1, D2, D3, D4. These components will be connected to load circuit. A similar manner as like half bridge only, but here to increase the utilization factor, we are going for full bridge inverter. So during positive half cycle, we are operating thyristor T1 and T2. Same circuit, I think almost similar circuit we are used in class C chopper. If you remember, we have used almost similar circuit in class C chopper, which is nothing but all quadrant chopper. Okay, so here we are getting the positive half cycle by turning on thyristor T1 and T2. So when T1 and T2 are turned on, current will be flowing from this Vs source thyristor T1 through load from thyristor T2 back to supply. So current will be flowing in positive direction and voltage is also positive when T1 and T2 are turned on. When T1 is turned on, this positive will be appeared across this, so which is in the same direction. So positive output voltage and current is also positive. Okay, so positive half cycle will be with respect to T1 and T2. After completing this positive half cycle, both T1 and T2 are turned off. Turned off. Then the thyristor T3 and T4 are turned on for negative half cycle, and current will be flowing from the source thyristor T3 through load, again from thyristor T4 back to supply. So in this path current will be flowing and we are getting the output voltage. We are getting the output voltage. So this is for single phase full bridge inverter. Single phase full bridge inverter circuit operation. So T1 and T2 will be for positive half cycle, and T3 and T4 will be for negative half cycle, and these diodes will conduct whenever the load is consisting of inductance. Inductance. In this type of inverter, four thyristors and four diodes are used. The circuit diagram of single phase full bridge inverter is shown in above figure. At the time of thyristors T1 and T2 conduct for first half cycle from 0 to T by 2. During this period, the load voltage Vs is similar to the DC supply voltage. For second half cycle from T by 2 to T, thyristors T3 and T4 will conduct, and the load voltage during this period is minus Vs. Here we can get AC output voltage same as DC supply voltage, and source utilization factor is 100%. The output voltage waveform is a square wave, and the filters are used to convert this into sine wave. If thyristors all conduct at the same time or in a pair, that is T1 and T3 or T2 and T4, then the source will get short circuited. So this is one important precaution. So we should not operate T1 and T4 simultaneously. We should not operate T3 and T2 simultaneously. Similarly, diodes also. If we operate T1 and T4 simultaneously, there is a short circuit across the source. So this is not a desirable condition. So this precaution we need to take while operating with respect to full bridge inverter. The diodes are connected in circuit as a feedback diode because it is for the energy feedback as diode source. Diode source. So this is regarding the basic introduction to the inverters and the classification of inverters. And in this we have mainly focused on single phase inverters. There we are using voltage source inverters. And if we compare the full bridge inverter and half bridge inverter, the given DC supply voltage load output voltage is 2 times. In full bridge inverter, the output voltage is 2 times to half bridge inverter, and the power is 4 times in full bridge inverter. So the power rating and voltage rating will be improved in full bridge inverter. That's why in practical applications we are going with the full bridge inverter. Full bridge inverter is more advantageous than half bridge inverter. And today we will see one more important concept, the differences between UPS and inverter. UPS and inverter. So this is the inverter circuit which generally we will see in our residential purpose, and this is UPS. So generally this will be used as a backup for computers. So if you see the UPS at that server room, we will see. So it is a APC make. It is a luminous make. So we are going to see regarding the main differences between UPS and inverter. Actually, UPS is a uninterrupted power supply. It is a device capable of providing backup power in case of power failure. It is connected with a battery that acts as a source of power. Generally, UPS will be used as a backup power source, and inside the UPS, it will be having a battery and inverter. It draws current from AC main to power any electronics and also continuously charge the battery. But when the power cuts off, it suddenly switches the power source and starts drawing current from the battery. So normally, whenever you are operating with the UPS, whenever the AC mains is on, automatically the load will be connected on AC mains, and the batteries which are existing in UPS will charge. But whenever there is a failure of power, the UPS will switch the power to batteries, and it will supply the electrical power from battery to the load. But the main difference is the switching speed. Switching speed with respect to UPS and inverter. The switching speed of UPS is almost below 10 milliseconds. So UPS is very fast, switching power from main power to this backup power, that is through battery power. The switching speed is very fast, which is almost below 10 milliseconds in UPS, uninterrupted power supply. Such fast switching does not affect the operation of electronic devices such as computer. So it should not turn off. Actually, when we are operating with some other devices, the computer may turn off, but it is not desirable whenever we are operating because the files may not be saved. So for that, the switching speed is required is very fast. So for that we are using UPS. The switching speed of UPS is very high, so which is less than 10 milliseconds. So this is the block diagram of UPS. Here we are having AC mains and here we are having AC load. So normally whenever the AC mains is on, this supply will be fed to surge suppressor. If there is any abnormalities, that will be suppressed and it will be sent to AC load through static transfer switch. So whenever the absence of power supply, the energy stored in this battery will be inverted and it will be given to AC load. So during normal, whenever the power supply is there, the power will be fed through AC load through AC mains, and this power will charge the battery. Okay, so this AC will be converted to DC through a charge controller. It will be having a converter and a filter. Okay, so this AC will be converted to DC and it will be stored in the battery, and the battery will store the energy. The stored energy will be supplied to load whenever there is a failure of power supply. Power supply. So this is regarding UPS. Okay. Inverter. Inverter just now we have seen. It is a electronic circuit which will convert the DC into AC, and it is also used for providing backup power supply for non-sensitive electronic devices where a delay in switching does not affect the matter, like lights, fans. Actually, whenever the fan is rotating to come into rest position, it will take 1 or 2 minutes. So within that time, the inverter will give backup power supply. The switching speed of inverter is very slow than UPS. Because of this, the sensitive equipment may get damaged. Sometimes the computers and some other equipment which are operating may get affected. The computer may get shut down like that. It is basically a DC to AC converter connected with a DC supply such as battery. It draws current from the battery and converts it into AC supply to power AC appliances. And there is no internal charge controller, so it does not charge the battery. If you want to charge your battery, you need external charge controller circuit. Like UPS, it is not having any internal charge controller circuit. So we need to charge the battery externally and we need to place charged battery in inverters. It does not offer protection against abnormal currents and voltages. Therefore, the voltage spikes and surges are not drawbacks of inverter that can damage the sensitive electronic devices. So these are the main comparison between UPS and inverter. Actually, if we observe, the switching speed of UPS is 2 to 5 milliseconds, and the switching speed of inverter is around 200 to 500 milliseconds. This is the main differentiation between UPS and inverter. Both will almost function in a similar manner. It is the main difference. It can convert this direct current DC to alternating current DC or vice versa at the same time. But this inverter will convert only DC to AC. Okay, so this is the main differentiation between UPS and inverter. It is a device that provides AC backup power in case of power failure. It is a device that converts DC into AC. It will only convert DC into AC and it is providing backup power. Backup power. Okay. So both the devices will function in the similar manner, but the speed is very high in UPS. Switching speed is very high. But inverters, the switching speed is very low in domestic appliances for fans, lighting system. For that, we are going for inverter. For sensitive electronic devices like computers and some other relays, some other breakers that will be operated with the UPS. UPS. So that is the only main differences between the UPS and inverter. So in this class, we have learned regarding inverter. It is a device which converts DC power into AC power at a desired output voltage and frequency. For high power applications, thyristorized inverters are used. For low power applications, transistorized inverters are used. And we will attempt a small quiz on today's class. Inverter is a device which converts AC supply into DC supply, DC supply into AC supply, fixed DC to variable DC, fixed AC to variable AC. Actually, inverter is a device which converts DC supply to AC supply. So option B is the correct answer. So on this today's class, the frequently asked questions are: what is an inverter? So we have to define it is a device which converts the fixed DC to variable AC. Classify the types of inverter. So for this, we have to write if they ask specifically any six or any four. Accordingly, you have to write. Otherwise, you have to write all the classifications based on source. These are classified as voltage source inverter and current source inverter. Based on the number of phases, single phase inverter and three phase inverter. Based on the connection of semiconductor devices, bridge inverter, parallel inverter, series inverter. Like that. based on the type of output voltage, square wave, sine wave, quasi square wave, based on the circuit configuration. It may be half bridge inverter, full bridge inverter. Based on the type of commutation we are using, load commutation, forced commutation, and list the applications. We have to write the applications where we require inverters. Okay, so these are the things we discussed. The inverters are mainly used in adjustable speed AC drives, and these are used in induction heating. It is used in HVDC transmission system. It is used as UPS for computers. Like this, you have to write few applications of inverters. Whenever there is a absence of electrical power, at that time we are going for inverter. You have to highlight that. So if you have any questions, you can ask, or you can put the questions in comment box so that we will discuss in the next class. Thank you all of you for your patient listening. The next class we will mainly focus on the series inverter and parallel inverter, the operation of series inverter and parallel inverter. Thank you.